Welcome back to SnowRunner, y'all, and of course, welcome back to Rockingham. Now, Rockingham is a work-in-progress map that is currently still in development by Red, and I'll leave a link to the map on mod.io in the description down below. Now, just so you know, if you see anything that maybe isn't finished yet, or you're wondering why something looks like it's supposed to be somewhere, but you're like, why is that way? It's because it's still in development. Now, the vehicle that we're going to be running in this video, if you watched some of my previous videos here on Rockingham, you'll know that we came out here with two vehicles, Red's Bronco, as well as this 2022 Toyota Tundra by Yeah Buddy. Now, what we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be exploring some trails that we haven't seen yet, and we're going to be using the Tundra for that. Now, this one is kind of moderately built. It's on the mid-range engine. It's got an off-road gearbox, and it's on 37s. It's on a very realistic setup, like a very, very realistic setup. So this is going to be a really good test, I think, of both the rig and the map. Now, if you're interested in this truck, keep in mind that it is PC only. You can follow the link to Yeah Buddy's Discord in the description box down below. But with that out of the way, let's fire it up and get out on some trails and see what these other trails that we haven't seen yet are all about. I love the way this thing sounds. I've always absolutely loved this truck. Like, I know that there were some people that when the newer body style Tundras came out, like the 22 and up, people were a little bit iffy about it. They were like, well, I don't know if I like the styling. I don't know if I like the fact that it's a twin turbo V6 instead of a V8 now. And I think that there's always going to be a certain element, especially when a new truck comes out, there's always going to be a certain element of, you know, well, it's different in some certain way than the old one, and so I don't like it, or maybe it's hard to like because you liked the old one. But for me, I think the biggest thing that took me a minute to get used to with the new Tundra was the new grille and headlight design. The fact that it had a twin-turbo V6 never really bothered me because the twin-turbo V6 in this thing makes so much torque. I mean, it makes almost 500 foot-pounds of torque, which is a lot more than the outgoing V8. I know it doesn't sound as good in real life. This one's got a V8 soundtrack on it, but yeah, I know it doesn't sound as good in real life, but still. I mean, a Tundra with almost 500 foot-pounds of torque, dude, it's nuts. Okay, so this seems to go all the way through and down to the other side of the road. I love how this feels like a whole off-road complex, though. Like, it's literally, there's trails everywhere. And once Red fills these trails out, oh my god. Like, I'm gonna be blown away, I'm sure, if it's anything like the rest of the map. Oh, this is really, really cool, though. This reminds me a lot of, like, Forest Service trails. It really does. Like, this gives me a very Forest Service trail kind of vibe. Like, not overly complicated or difficult, but still really interesting and really pretty. Now, what do we have coming up? There should be some obstacles coming up ahead. Now, that trail, oh, I thought that was the trail that we were already going to be going through. No, that one's just like chilling out there on the left. Oh, here we go. All right, whoa, easy. I'm actually really glad we picked this area to use the Tundra for, because I feel like if we took the Bronco through here, it wouldn't have been anywhere near challenging enough for the Bronco. But for the Tundra, it's great. Like a, you know, a realistic Tundra on 37s that you might drive, you know, you might drive it to work every day and then drive it to the trails on the weekends. This is the exact kind of wheeling that you would do with a truck like this in real life. I mean, this is absolutely, whoa, it just got a lot more gnarly. Wow, we just smashed our rocker. Oh my god, this just got way gnarlier than I thought it was gonna get. All right. Hey, I'm down for it, though. Find some grip at that driver's side. Yes, there we go. Dude, that's so sick. 37's putting in work. You don't necessarily always need, like, a 40 or a 42 to get work done on the trails. That's for sure. God, these trails are so pretty. And they are so realistically put together. I know that I've said that in my other videos on this map, but my god, like, again, that angle right there, that is an angle that you could legitimately put yourself in real life, and that's actually a really typical angle to see trucks like this in real life. And the fact that it's, like, that easy to put something like this in that position on this map, just again, shows how realistically it was laid out in regards to literally the dynamics of how like a trail like this would affect a truck with this type of suspension. There we go. Now, was that the optimal line to take? Probably not, but it doesn't always have to be the optimal line. Like, you can mix up your lines from time to time to just have some fun. Here we go. I'm trying to, for the most part, take lines that I would realistically take in real life, and so far, I've been able to take some decent ones, I think. Going diagonally helps a lot when you have a wheelbase that's a bit longer. Whoa, that would be a sketchy line, IRL. Oh my god, that would be so sketchy. I'm gonna just hover over the edge. Yeah, that's a lot better. If you could see right there, that's a lot better. The truck isn't tipping over. The truck isn't about to, you know, go careening down into the ditch there. Like, I would really rather not careen into the ditch. That's not on my list of things to do today. Oh, I love that angle too. That would be a little bit sketchy right there, but I mean, even then, it's still such a sick map. Oh, come on. Give it a tiny touch more wheel speed. Tiny touch, though, not much. This color looks so good in the sunlight. It's like a bluish gray. I don't know if it's exactly the same as the one of the realistic colors, one of the real world colors that this truck comes in, or at least the previous Tundras did, which was kind of the moon rock or lunar rock color. I don't know if this exactly replicates that, but it sure as heck gets pretty dang close. Just absolutely lumbering through. It's so, like, it's so good, though. And I know I keep going on about that, but I think this is one of those maps that will really... Oh, look at that. Front flex and rear flex in the same shot. Oh, that's so good. This map is going to be one of those maps where you can just... And I know that it's like... I know it's kind of a cliche, but, like, this is a map that you could go to and you could just wheel and chill for hours. And I think, you know, if it's in this state now as a work in progress, coming out here and just chilling once this map is done, you know, throwing it low plus, and just chilling your way around the map. Like, genuinely, like, chilling and trail riding with friends. That's literally what this map is for, and I think it does it on a level that, frankly, very few maps have done before. Ooh, easy. This is why we have an off-road bumper. There you go. This is half throttle, by the way. Not bad at all. Trail's a little overgrown here. I was kind of having to look a little bit to figure out where I was headed. Get it centered up. I really think that, like, not enough, and this map really highlights it, not enough map makers have given, like, and don't get me wrong, some have, and it's been amazing to see, but not enough map makers have given, in my opinion, have given that level of attention and detail to trails like this that are, you know, like, they're challenging for rigs that might have a 35 or a 37, you know what I mean? Like, not every trail is gonna require, like, 44s just to barely make it through. And, like, I think that element of balance between, like, realistic tire sizes for a streetable vehicle and, you know, some challenge but also some really, like, laid-back fun are what make maps like this really stand out. Because this map has those over-the-top, like, fully built rock crawler level trails, like, for 44s, 50s, like, you know, tire sizes like that. But it also has trails like this that are, like, you know, that are for vehicles that are like, oh, I drive this to work during the week, and then on the weekend I do some light wheeling in it. Like, that's what this, literally what this trail is built and designed for. I smashed up my bumper, but yeah, we got another one at home, and plus we're about to put on an off-road rear bumper sometime, so don't worry about it. Where does this go? Well, this is kind of like looping back into itself. Whoa. That's gnarly. Oh, I love that. That's like... That's so sick. All right, let me ease it on down. Ease it on down. There you go. Not gonna lie, I am so happy with this thing. Like, I'm so happy with the truck. I'm so happy with the map. I'm so happy with the way, like, it literally, like, all of it gets put together, you know? Like, genuinely, it all ends up being this really, really well put together package of realism. It turns it into, like, basically an off-roading sim where you don't necessarily have like any career mode style objectives. Like, your only objective is to get out on the trail and have fun with your friends. And God, this map really does highlight that element of why we've played these games for so long. Like, through the Spin Tires tech demo, through Spin Tires the full release, to Mud Runner, to SnowRunner, you know, they all have been able to give us that element of, you know, being able to just like find a fun trail, grab a rig, build it the way we like, and just go hang out with our friends that are also into off-roading. Like, that's so, and I know that it might sound kind of silly, but yes, there are other games that, you know, you can go off-roading in. Like, say, for example, you know, your games like the Crew series or the Forza Horizon series and stuff like that. Like, they technically have off-road vehicles, but none of those games really bring the element of off-roading together like the Runner series has. Now, I know that BeamNG is obviously a more realistic game in terms of the way the physics interact with the ground and the vehicle, and every single part of the vehicle is an integral part of the physics experience, whereas, you know, SnowRunner may not be anywhere near as authentic of a physics system, but I think, you know, the Runner series has a special charm to it that allows for that element of just like, you know, you can casually hang out and go wheeling, whereas in Beam, like, you gotta be really into it to understand some of the things that are going on, and that's not a bad thing by any means. It's just like, you know, things in Beam take a little longer to get set up. Things in Beam take a little longer to get figured out. It takes a little bit more, processing power to run it, and things like that. And those are not bad things. Those are just elements of Beam versus elements of SnowRunner. And again, if you're judging it based purely on physics alone, sure, Beam is better. Beam is a better physics simulator. But in terms of being a better game, I'm not quite sure it's a better game. You know what I mean? And now, if you're looking for something where you can go rock crawling, but then also go like highway racing and have a police chase in the same game, yeah, sure, Beam is better. But I think for a game totally centered around the elements of off-roading, especially in like a, you know, in a chill way that allows you to hang out with friends, the Runner series really does have that like locked down, in my opinion. Absolutely locked down. Now, does that mean the game's perfect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. SnowRunner is a perfect game with no issues whatsoever. And if you get my sarcasm, you absolutely understand where I'm going with that statement. But back to the map, though, and back to this trail. Look at the pond, like miniature lake, well, pond, lake, you know, whatever size body of water you want to consider that. Beautiful rocks, too, coming up to this section of trail that goes through the water. Oh, my God. The rock textures continue to blow my mind. They really do. Oh, just easing it on into the water. I'm going to go ahead and patch up that body damage. There we go. God, dude, it's such a pretty map. It's such a pretty map. And honestly, like, such a pretty trail system, too. Genuinely a gorgeous trail system. Like, this is one of those trail systems that I would come back to over and over and over again.